We're awesome this morning. How are you?
Good. You are a race chairman. I'm a loud talky face. What does your weekend look like? I imagine this is peak busyness for you.
We got a crazy busy weekend coming up with the men's downhill race on Saturday and Super G on Sunday. Today we have scheduled the first training run, and we're just trying to work through some snow issues to see if, in fact, we'll be able to run today's training run.
41 centimeters in the last 72 hours from what I'm seeing on the web. What does it look like up there when you think you've got a course set and then all of a sudden it dumps?
It's that 41 centimeters is not an exaggeration. The whole resort looks awesome. The racetrack itself, we were able to work with the snow that came down earlier in the week. We got a little bit overnight, and it was pretty wet snow, and we're just pushing that off the track as we speak. The athletes are actually doing a warm-up run on the lower part of the course as we're having this conversation.
This World Cup goes all the way back to, I believe, 1980, back in the crazy Canucks days. What's the excitement level like now, especially after last year where it was a late start to the snow and then there was too much of it and too late for this race to go off?
Yeah, as we've discussed, we've been waiting 2 years for the men to come back, and they're all excited. The whole circuit from the speed side starts here at Lake Louise, both men's and ladies next week, and they truly are excited to be back on snow out here. Our start is starting a little bit higher than we usually have, so we've added some jump features on the course, so I think we've got an exciting track that we look forward to seeing the racers come down this week.
I didn't even think about that. I'm sure there's reputations for each stop on the circuit that you go to annually. But yeah, the course changes. How much does it, or do sometimes you stick to the exact same path?
Well, the more or less the terrain of the gate sets is quite similar, but depending on snow conditions, if we don't have a whole lot of snow, you can put a few more features in. You don't fill in some of the bumps, and it gives the athletes a challenge. We've added a couple of roller jumps that when they take at speed, they get quite a bit of air.
I think we watch on TV and we say, wow, these guys are going fast and this is incredible. But what we don't see is the massive amount of work it takes to get something race ready for a World Cup event. You've got some numbers here on a press release that was sent out by, I think, Alpine Canada earlier. 34,000 volunteer hours. We're talking over 100 helicopter lifts of equipment, 3,000 plus nights in hotels for just the volunteers alone, and kilometers of safety netting, and of course all the other work that goes in. Give us a little background before just the lights come on for the show, so to speak.
Absolutely. We have crews who start here on October 1st. Our net monkeys start putting up our high safety nets. And then they fly equipment lifts with the helicopter to place equipment along the course. So when the major group of our volunteers come in mid-November, the equipment's all ready to be deployed on the mountain once the snow's in and the A-nets are installed. We've got 150 volunteers active on the mountain this morning. We were lifts loaded at 6:30 this morning, so there was a lot of headlamps on the course this morning, getting the track prepared. But it is a big endeavor. We start from scratch every year, putting up the track here at Lake Louise. The resort is amazingly supportive of us being here, and then we run the 2 weeks of World Cup, and then we're fortunate to have a legacy with the NORAMs running in behind us.
And that, of course, is a developmental level of racing, right? So that's where you'd see the up-and-comers.
Provincial teams. Absolutely. The provincial teams get a chance to run on a World Cup track, and it's a terrific opportunity for us to get them moving up the ladder.
So the buzz is already at the resort for those of you working on it and for those that are there on a regular basis getting excited about it. But when do the crowds start to show up, and when do you see people hanging around and lining, I suppose, the fence?
We'll probably on the weekend. It sort of flows with as the public has time to be on the mountain. And with the excellent snow conditions, I am expecting that the resort will see a lot of the public coming up here to do free skiing, and they can line the sides of the course. We have training runs scheduled for today, tomorrow, and Friday, with the races running on the weekend. It's very important that we get a training run under our belts so that we can race on Saturday. And so we're pushing really hard to make that happen. Obviously, Mother Nature has some input on that, but our crews are, I think, up to the challenge. And we're looking forward to seeing big crowds at the finish area. Kids ski for free up at the mountain on the weekend, under 12. And there'll be lots of things going on up here, and quite
We're chatting with Brian Lynham. He is the race chairman for the Lake Louise Audi FIS Ski World Cup that goes on this weekend. Do you get to other events? Do you get to compare and contrast this one to some other stops on the circuit? And how proud are you of the job that Western Canada does in this thing?
I couldn't be prouder of the work that our volunteers and crews do. It's a different sport in Europe from the perspective of the crowds. They get far bigger crowds than we do, and we're okay with that. I think the people who come to watch our events are not disappointed. The access to the athletes is incredible. You get very close to them, and they stay at the Chateau, one of the beautiful hotels out here. I think they do like being here. One of the few stops on the circuit where all the teams are in one hotel. So there's a whole lot of camaraderie between the athletes and the teams, especially at the beginning of the season. And Lake Louise shows extremely well on TV with snow in the trees and when the sun out here. And none of us get tired of being up here when the sun rises on the top of the mountain.
Brian, so kind of your time to do it so close to race day. We appreciate it. And do you have a bold prediction for us? Will we see a good Canadian finish here?
Canadians on the podium.
Yes, I love it.
You betcha. So hopefully we'll see a bunch of people up here to cheer them on.
All right. Thanks so much, Brian. Appreciate it.